It looks like EA has responded to some of the criticism of the FUT Champs rewards over the last couple of weeks or so, that they were terrible, right? They were not good. The red player pick specifically, and all you got to do is check Twitter to see that everyone's packing at least something pretty good. So it looks like EA have buffed those. And I bring that up right now before we even get into anything, because I packed a one of the reds today that I don't have the video, which I wish I did, but let me show you who it was here. Scrolling over, it was Red Mbappe. He's like 7 mil. I think it's my best red pull ever. I was seeing way more good red pulls on Twitter and on other social medias as well. So EA have buffed champs rewards. I'm not trying to have it just be an anecdotal thing. Some people definitely will still get shafted, but it was looking like they really buffed them. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. We'll talk about everything we need to. We also have another topic we'll talk about too, is EA patching that evolution glitch. So that's no longer going to be a thing. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. And people were obviously not happy about that either, but we got other random stuff to get into today. Thank you all for joining and being here. I will say as well, if you leave a comment on this video, I'm going to read it on my second channel. And okay, let's start with the TOTS rewards being buffed, quote unquote. It actually was to a point where people thought that it was glitched earlier on. Like once it reached Friday and rewards were like attainable for like 3 or 4 hours, it was 3 or 4 hours post weekend league opening. For a few hours after that, people thought it was just straight up glitched because it was looking so much better. Now, how much of that is just the fact that most of us got 2 more, if not 3 more red player picks, right? With this new team of the season champions legacy objective. So that always helps. So maybe that was just the real reason behind like why these were better. But the way they were before, there was almost nothing usable you could end up getting in these reds, which it was crazy. And also, if you do want to know this play 15 objective, or sorry, win 15 objective, you've probably seen this by now, but some people thought, oh my god, what is this OP Evo you'll get if you go 15-0? It's a badge, so don't worry about it. But combining that with the fact that champs is now 1 win to get in, right? I do think we probably were seeing a pretty low player count, if I had to guess, actually playing champs and going into competitive gameplay and stuff like that. My guess was rivals and champs numbers were pretty low, which I don't think any of us will find surprising considering the circumstances. So that's just my guess. We have no idea. But also at the end of this video, I'm going to have the 93 plus encore icon pick combined with the 93x5 pack that you get for the weekly objective, right? So we'll open both of those at the end of this video as well. But yeah, one of the bigger talking points of the last, well, since La Liga TOTS really came out was just the TOTS prices. And right now they are the cheapest we've probably ever seen, right? The biggest one people were shocked by was this Valverde card and also Vinicius. Valverde right now is less than 100,000 coins, right? 94,000 on PC, 92,000 on PC right now. I think on console, he's right around the exact same price. And because we talk about this stuff in the market really daily, this isn't much of a surprise to us, right? That everything is this cheap right now. But to some people, it's kind of like they're realizing now slowly that it's getting kind of ridiculous how cheap things are. Now, we talked about it before that that's not necessarily even a bad thing, right? Because Vinicius team of the season is, I think on PC, he was like 900k or 800k, I want to say. Yep, 950 right there, 900,000 coins flat. Or Vinicius, that is 5-5 team of the season. And you would never expect to see anything like that. I mean, this card, team of the year Vinny, was the most expensive player on the game for 2 or 3 months. So team of the season Vinny drops and he's like kind of affordable, all things considered, compared to other Vinny cards, obviously. And we've also talked about why this is, but one of the main reasons as to why this is because of evolutions, right? And that kind of ties us into what EA did do. I think it was on Friday, and they did patch the Evo stuff. And first of all, here we got some more pretty good ones, right? Added time in Lisbon. If you have the Maldini card, you can put the Maldini card in there. So there's just some great cards you can make through Evos, and that's why the market is this way. Next year will be a really, really interesting thing to see what EA do, because they're either going to double down on Evos and the market will be continuing to be this cheap pretty much forever, or they're going to strip back evolutions, not make them as good because they don't like the market being this way. So I'm not sure what they'll pick. My guess is Evos have been such a hit, they're making good money off it, that they'll stay with Evos. If you guys also didn't see, there was a training camp Evo as well that you can go and do. I think this one was the one that was leaked by FUT Police Leaks in one of our last videos. But yeah, maybe you can read something into the fact that they did patch this TOTS upgrade thing, where I'm trying to find where I have one here. Yeah, I have a TOTS upgrade still, max 93 right now. You can't Evo a card through one of these TOTS plus recolors into this new TOTS upgrade. That's no longer a thing. There was one you had to like glitch to do it, and the other ones just let you do it, and now both of those don't work. So for them patching that, for one, it's just +1s, right? So is that kind of something that you look at and go, really, do you need to patch that considering it was so well loved? You know, that was kind of the main main criticism for it that I saw on Twitter. I think the Penthez was talking about it, where he was like, really, you're going to patch this right now when it's so well liked? But EA just worry that it's too good, right? They're making these stat limits on purpose because they view that as like the tip of the power curve, and if it goes over that, they obviously don't want that. But at the same time, it is one card in your team that you are giving +1s to. Is it that big of a deal when it's so well liked? Well, EA decided that clearly it was worth patching. And the first tweet you'll see talking about this is just pure complaining about it, right? Because obviously, is it that big of a deal? I think it's understandable that EA did this. However, yes. But the way the game is right now in the market and the power curve, you kind of got to just go all out. The Tottenham thing was so well liked because it kind of went crazy, right? Every card in there was good and really good. You've never seen a promo probably come out where every single card is that good. And by the way, still as of recording this, there's no Women's Champions League winners in terms of like a team coming out for the Women's Champions League because Arsenal won it. So we might not see a women's team. I think it was like right about now we heard about the Tottenham team. So we'll wait and see. But in tomorrow's video, we'll probably know if we'll see one of those yet. But yeah, what do you guys think? Was it dumb for them to patch it? Did it make sense? And here's the Penthez's tweet: removing the possibility of a +1 in May when everything is worth nothing is a core reason there's so much negativity towards the game. It's such a small thing people got joy from, and EA's like, nope, no more. No worries, EA, I'll go spend 12,000 coins on an endgame player instead. And that is the one thing that I do agree with, that where the market being so cheap, just go all out, man. And they kind of are doing that, I think, with Champs Rewards being much better. I want to bring up Champs Rewards one more time here, because was your weekend league this weekend easier, harder, the same, considering it's one win now to get in? For me, I went 10-5, and I think that's my worst finish in like a month or two. And I didn't really care that much. I was doing like an Evo Messi. I was using like a pretty bad Messi for like 5 or 6 games. So it wasn't that big of a deal to me. But for me, the weekend league was still just as sweaty as it like ever has been. But I'm curious to hear your experience through it. And if you got a crazy red as well, let me know who you got in the comments. And okay, next up, we do have an evolution leak, actually. It is a new max 92 left back or right back set to come to Ultimate Team soon. So any fullback looks like jockey plus, ping to pass plus, stats boost, upgrade limits over 90, he says, 5-star weak foot, must not be CDM, max 2 positions. And these two are kind of the same we always see there. And the replies down here, this guy asks if Ashley Cole fits. This card right here, he does say that he does fit, and most of your players will fit, he says. So looks like it's going to be a pretty lenient evolution, which is always nice. And right now, what do you think EA should be doing to kind of increase the length and life of people's enjoyment of this game, right? The fun of it. To me, you know this by now, it's going to be going crazy with stuff like this. An evolution a day that is max 92 that brings very good cards. At this point, everyone has crazy teams. Let's just continue to add to it while adding some variety in game modes, more objectives like they've been doing with the champ stuff. So I think they're trying to add some spice to it. And next up here, we do have one more Evo leak as well. Another Cam Evo, max 92, finesse plus, dead ball plus, first touch plus, stats boost. Must not be striker, center mid, or CDM. Kind of seems like to me this one is going to be a free one. You know, finesse plus being the only like S tier playstyle there, and then dead ball and first touch. So probably just like a random free evolution. And most of the players in the replies actually didn't fit, but this Neymar does here. The 99 dribbling Cam Neymar does fit, but okay, not really too much to say about that, I guess. Let's move on to the next thing. I'm just curious to know right now how many of you in the comments and watching this video have an Henry evolution. I think I probably went up against 8 or 9 of them this weekend. It was in over half the games at least. So just curious to know, for one, how good he is, and two, how many of you in the comments have that. And okay, next up here, let's talk about this damn objective, because I wasn't talking about this, or sorry, I didn't talk about this when we were just in the content menu, but one of the ways to get one of these picks was actually to play 15 games of Champs Finals. So no rage quits, which is just the most hilarious way for EA to boost their like engagement numbers to keep people on the game longer. But that objective sucked. Okay, you'd be up 10-0 and the guy's not backing out. You'd be down 10-0. You're not going to back out. So you just sit there and do nothing basically. So that objective kind of sucked. We can only hope it's not a preview of what next year looks like if ban quits are a thing, because that's the rumor right now. We don't know if that's going to be only like 0-0 quitting or 1-1 quitting, draw quitting, obviously, where you get banned for it, or if it'll be any quits. You know, we just don't know. So I want to bring that up too, is like that objective kind of sucked. Let's hopefully not see that again. Okay, and I do want to say quickly here, apparently the servers are down again as of right now, so I'll try and log in and do the pick and stuff, but I just tried. It didn't work. I looked on Reddit and there was like 4 or 5 posts all saying servers are down again, because if you guys weren't on during the Friday of La Liga Team of the Season, they were down for like a couple hours. Some people it was less than that. Some people it was more than that. But either way, maybe you could look at that and say that's a sign of La Liga being the most hyped up team of the season and the game getting and reaching some nice numbers there. But also, you know, what happened to server queues? Wasn't that a thing? If there's too many players, so maybe it was just the fact that the servers were just down and it had nothing to do with the player count at all. But just speculating, don't know, but servers are down once again. And thanks EA, the hamsters they died. And also quick, just a reminder of the SBCs that we have not seen yet, and actually one in here I think we haven't seen in our videos yet. We've seen the whole top 5 here apart from Patrick Guijarro, still waiting on that card. These are all official stats, by the way. Barry we're waiting on, and Johnny Cardoso, right? And then Bruma, and we also have Balde that we have not seen yet. So, okay, reminding you of that quickly. And then also there is this I want to talk about. Fendi Merland had this really interesting tweet here. He says, Strike Force released 2 months ago and was basically the exact same evolution. So here's that Suarez with hero and a half shell, right? Low driven, quick step, finesse shot, 96, 93, 93. Here is that Strike Force Evo, low driven, quick step, finesse shot, 95, 93, 94. So it literally is kind of the exact same card. Now, of course, I think what some people forget and stuff like this is that, well, you can do a second one, right? You're able to actually get a second card up to being really, really damn good. So this to me really is why the market is the way it is, right? We see crazy evolutions that are basically within the power curve months in advance, right? And it's hard to sit here and complain too much about this when obviously when Strike Force comes out, you're pretty damn happy when you see an Evo that looks that insane, and it was 500,000 coins. So this is why I think it is kind of inevitable for us to have good evolutions, for the market to be kind of this way. I think what is not inevitable is like the fodder prices and stuff, but I think what is sort of inevitable is a cheaper market, a much cheaper market when Evos are like this. So we kind of have to choose what we want. I'm fine with a cheaper market and good Evos, like that's fine with me. I think with the way the market has been, there's things EA can do, and we've seen this now over the past maybe week or so, that can make things interesting even if the market is this way. They just have to plan for it to be this way and plan content around that. And can they do that? I don't know, but I think in theory, if the market is this way and the game is this way where some crazy cards are 20,000 coins, that's not necessarily a bad thing if EA can do some fun stuff with it. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Just thought that was kind of an interesting thing there from Fendi Merland. And market stuff, what I will say is La Liga Tots, obviously extremely cheap. I think you still want to wait till Rivals Rewards, you definitely do. And also these Tottenham cards are rising up quite a bit right now. I think that they'll continue to rise up probably for, I'm going to say probably till Ultimate Team of the Season. I think Ultimate Tots comes out and then they might start to kind of drop again. But if you want to buy one of these cards, I'd actually suggest maybe buying one kind of like now, if you for sure want one to be in your team for say next weekend league, because next team of the season isn't maybe that insane. We'll see what it looks like, but it's just kind of the rest of world stuff, right? And the weekend after that is ultimate, and that's where we might end up seeing like crazy cards even cheaper, so that might drop these guys a little bit. But until then, I think you probably, I'm gonna go out and buy, I think I want to try and buy that Destiny Udogi. I'm gonna buy him like right now, and then I think that's probably the best buy time if you want to use him for this weekend league that's coming up next weekend, even because they're so rare. This is kind of like what it used to be with trading certain cards in the game, right? These are some of the rarer cards you can find. Like Man of the Match cards are one of the easiest things to invest in forever when they existed, right? Because they're out for a day or two, and if they're really good, there's more demand than supply. So I think you're better off buying these sooner rather than later until Ultimate Team of the Season. That's kind of what I would say with those. And okay, let's read some of your comments now, and once again, I will reply to you if you leave a comment on this video on my second channel. Doc and Rum says, how would you rank the top 5 goalies in the game? And I bring this up not because I'm even going to rank goalkeepers. I actually want to just bring up the fact that saves with feet trait does save more low-driven shots than other traits do. And if you want to stop Travellas, then that long reach one does save more often than not, but odds are, for me, all you want is any keeper with all the goalkeeper playstyles, because most of the keepers right now have the goalkeeper playstyles, and also I personally want saves with feet plus. So all the goalkeeper playstyles, then saves with feet plus, and other than that, like the differences between any card with all of those things is negligible. So that's kind of what I would say for just the best keepers in the game. And many of you guys in the comment section keep talking about how everyone's got SBC storage full of high-end fodder with no big-time SBC in sight. So for me, that kind of kills the menu grind, right? And then Bad Grandpa also says, played 2 games with amazing gameplay yesterday. The rest of the games were horribly heavy. So first note here, yeah, I think we're not seeing a big SBC. If I had to go with like a crazy conspiracy theory here, I think that EA will not give out a crazy SBC to the level of Hullet until futties. I think they're just not going to, because they know by now how full our SBC storage is of ridiculously high rated cards, and they're kind of just hoping that we spend it on other stuff while we wait. That's kind of my only guess here, because at this point there has to be a reason behind these SBCs coming out and them not being to the level that they were until team of the season. You know, it's been 4 weeks, 5 weeks. There has to be some reason as to why comparing the SBCs from this year to last year is kind of hilarious, because they're so much worse than last year compared to the power curve, obviously. So to me, there has to be a reason. What is that reason? My guess is they just think we have too much fodder, and maybe they regret the SBC storage thing. I don't know. I'm just purely guessing. And also I asked yesterday in the comments, like, do you care about what the other team looks like, or do you not really care? And most people said like they don't really care. JW's like, focus on you, you'll be all right. We're all toxic. Everybody's worried about what everyone else is doing. I definitely, for me, agree with that. I think it's all personal though. Like, you might find it boring yourself to play against the same teams over and over again. For me, I just try to have fun with my team, and that's kind of what I care about the most. And I do think it's kind of crazy to say, but this year for me probably is the most variety we've seen in opponent teams, considering evolutions have been so insane. But of course, we still do have like the same few players you'll see in many teams out there. But if you were back playing in maybe FIFA 17 or 18, like, that was when it was at its worst. It was like there was one team you kind of reached, and you had 9 of the 11 players, and that 11 that was the most meta. And now it's not even close to that bad. So at least it's better than, you know, it was if you're a person who doesn't like going against the same teams. But okay, let's open our 93x5 eFigs TOTS pack now. I don't even know if people are getting good things out of this. I have no idea. I haven't seen a single one being opened, but we'll open this one. Goalkeeper, United States, and I don't even know who this is. I have no idea. Tullis Joyce. Okay, so we're gonna get at least 4 93s, I think. That Bruno Fernandes. I guess that's something, I guess. And what do we get? Okay, Jamie Gittins. Isn't he kind of worth... Nope. Okay. Oh, I mean, that's 4 93s and a 94. So about what you expect. And okay, here is our IQ test icon pick that's going to suck hairy ass, but I'm doing it because I don't care. And hopefully it's good content. I got Mbappe today, so you know what? I can't take an L today. And Wayne Rooney, sure, why not? Yeah, I forgot I packed Mbappe until right now, honestly. The second one is Zambrata. That's actually not the worst. No, it's not great. Who am I kidding? Last one is going to be a Buffon, who if I didn't have would kind of be cool. But okay, yeah, that's that. Thank you all for being here and watching. Love y'all. Have a peace.